Hello, good evening. Today I am going to discuss our continued part of social psychology. In that social psychology, in our previous class we have discussed some of the historical perspective and nature and objective of social psychology. Today I am going to discuss theoretical approaches. So in general psychology we also studied as emergence of psychology part also we studied some of the theories like cognitive perspective and humanistic perspective and psychodynamic perspective. So the same way to study social psychology we have different approaches, theoretical approaches. So in theoretical approaches we want to know that somewhere around to study the social behavior is also study as how psychology emerges. These theories helped us to think about psychology and different aspect. The same way even social psychology is also not exceptional case. So we have to study these theories, then we can at least have a basic knowledge about these theories so that we can understand in the proper manner of social psychology what it actually. So in the behavioral perspective it talks about, as we know that in our previous class emergence of psychology we clearly explained this. So please watch on my playlist, you will have a clear picture, detailed picture on that what behavioral perspective all about in psychology. So behavioral perspective talks about observable behavior. According to this social psychology, inside social psychology also we generally observe social phenomena, okay, and it is objective one. Of course social psychology believes and tries to observe the objective in the objective manner whatever phenomena social psychologist wants to observe. So basically there are so many theories related to behavioral perspective, but majority of the theories are related to Ivanov Pavlov classical conditioning and Skinner's operant conditioning. So these are theories are somewhere around related to this behavioral perspective. Another very important theory which is related to social psychology is to Bandura's social learning theory. Okay, so that is very famous that according to his theory we learn from observation and we take as a modeling, like we take others behavior as a model. So observation learning or vicarious learning is also very important theory, social learning given by Albert Bandura. So that is one thing we can discuss because these theories are going to study somewhere around in social psychology. So in social psychology is not from different from general psychology, because whatever we study in cognitive psychology or lifespan psychology or historical perspective of psychology, we have even crossed through these theories. So that is what, so something is repeating here what we discussed in earlier emergence of psychology. The another one is the cognitive perspective. In our previous video also we discussed about the cognitive revolution. The same way here we have a concept called social cognitions. So what are the components coming in the social cognition? The one is thinking and perceptions, problem solving, and these are the things are coming in the social psychology. When we study the social psychology we first of all more into thinking aspect of the thought process. First comes thought process. So cognitive perspective thoughts tells about basically thought process is the basic reason for our all social behavior. As we know in cognitive perspective, as a cognitive psychology, as a cognitive process, there are a number of concepts related to this like cognitive map, cognitive overloading. These are the theories we move up into the psychology we came to know and analyzing this. So today I'm just going to brief discussion. So before you entering into the different aspect of social psychology, it is very important to understand. So cognitive perspective, then we can also think about language acquisition. So when you are talking about language acquisition, it's very important to know about social perspective. There is a pragmatics where there is a number of components in psychology, in language acquisition, like pragmatisms, phonetics, morapims. So these are the things we have to discuss in cognitive psychology and also in social psychology context. So apart from you can also think about concept formation, categories, social categories. So these things will help in the cognitive perspective. Okay, so then come to the biological perspective. As we know that biology is very important, like as a physiological behavior, mind and brain, so somewhere around correlated. Sometimes we influence depending on our bodily process. So that is very important to understand, that biological perspective help us to look into the biological aspect of human behavior. So basically this gives an idea about how to understand how it is important to understand the biological aspect, whether it may be neurons, whether it may be different lobes of mind, or whether it may be sexual behavior, whether it may be Parkinson diseases, whether it may be alcohol related issues or addictions or eating disorders and all that stuff, somewhere around related to social psychology, because most of the these problems arise in the social context. Depression is also arising in the antisocial behavior or some other behavior related issues. So in that way, biological perspective is a very important aspect to know that. Okay, and then come to the cross-cultural perspective. The cross-cultural perspective, as we know that even studying of psychology subject, we have to study the cross-cultural issues, like different culture. We have to know different culture, because to understand the society, different culture, knowing the different ethics and different beliefs and myth is very important. So then only we can understand this aspect of things. So we cannot just go and study social psychology unless we know something as biological perspective, what it actually indicates. Okay, so other important aspect is the cross-cultural perspectives. So cross-cultural perspectives, the important aspect is evolutionary perspective. So evolutionary perspective is basically thinks about evolutionary aspect, like Charles Darwin theory, like fittest is the survived. The survived person is the fittest in the whoever fittest in the survival of the nature. So he talks about Charles Darwin theory of survival, like how it is. He talks about a lot of things about that things. So social, right now there is a tendency of socio-biological aspect. Okay, socio-biological aspect is developing slowly. That is one aspect we have to understand. So when we are going to study this aspect, social psychology, we came to know that ecology and human environment and all that comes under the evolutionary perspective, like tribal areas, what are the different tribes are living and that situations. And the human perspective, as we know that in our previous classes we have discussed a lot of things about the human perspective. The main thing is that there are two approaches, like two psychologists who are very famous. One is Abraham Maslow and Carl Roger. So Abraham Maslow talks about self-actualization, and Carl Roger focus on the self concept. According to these theories, by born human beings have potential. So when they are not able to realize their potential, they stuck somewhere. So that lead to psychological disorder or psychological problems. So improving the self concept and improving the self actualization and enhancing their understanding of the self, it can give you a more potential understanding the person as a comprehensive way to that they more focus on the human potential, not instead of going into more things. So another one approach I think I missed here, I think I can say that is a psychoanalytic. As you know that you all know that psychodynamic approach is a very important aspect of it covers everything. Wherever you, whatever the components we study, we have to study that you know already. So I'm not going to explain that. Sigmund Freud's theory. So, but these 6 theories you have to know before going to study social psychology in deep. Whether it may be social influence, whether it may be pro-social behavior or any aspect, you have to know basic ideas about this theoretical approaches. That is the reasons I put again it, even though I have discussed it very detailed in my playlist Emergence of Psychology. I have discussed different schools also I have discussed. So there you can come these approaches also. So please go through my playlist and you can get a more clear picture on that, and that will be more helpful for you. Saying this, I am going to conclude my video, and don't forget to if you find this video is very interesting, please share and like and subscribe so that it can reach you and the right time. So in upcoming videos we are going to make more and more very quality contents on social psychology, so that if you follow my videos, you will definitely gear up with your preparations. So please inform your friends and all whoever comes under WhatsApp group and LinkedIn group, so that you can also helping others by doing this. And by saying this, I am saying thank you so much for watching videos.